Right now at 5:30, a man accused of a deadly shooting at a Lexington strip club is behind bars.
Also on WKYT this morning, University of Kentucky health officials will be offering mumps vaccinations to students and staff today. That walk-in clinic comes after 3 cases of mumps have been confirmed on campus.
A central Kentucky community is getting close to expanded alcohol sales within city limits. Details just ahead.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Well, good morning to you. Kentucky mornings start right here on WKYT. We're glad you're with us. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. A very rainy start to our Kentucky morning.
It is that, and as we head into tomorrow, sounds like snow. So let's check in. It is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day because we may get more rain than we would like. Huh?
That's exactly right. 1 to 2 inches is a possibility, and what that means for us is not widespread flooding, but isolated flooding areas because of the ground's so saturated. I mean, we've had a good amounts of, I call it precipitation. The reason why I call it that because we've had a lot of snow. We've also had some rain involved too. So anything that's falling right now, more than likely, especially as you get into the bluegrass and northbound, that's an area that if we continue to see one heavy shower after another throughout the next 3 to 4 hours, this is an area across 75, 64, also 68 and 62 that you're going to be seeing some ponding there on the road. So we just got to keep that in mind. The top edge of this heading off into Bracken County and Grant County. The bottom edge is still in Fayette County. So if you're sitting in Falmouth, if you're sitting in Williamstown and also Corinth, Berry, Cynthiana, you still have another 20 minutes before we call it quits with this batch of heavier rain. Trust me, there's plenty more to go, and today it's going to be rainy, it's going to be windy too. I'm going to get into how fast these winds are expected, and also, are we looking at that severe weather threat? I'll have that coming up.
All right, see you then. Let's get to the news.
Well, new this morning, police have made an arrest following a deadly shooting outside of a Lexington strip club.
The investigators say 24-year-old Clarence Taylor is now facing murder charges after they say he shot 23-year-old LaRoz Mitchell outside Camelot East on Richmond Road last Friday. The arrest has just come this morning. WKYT's Mark Barber joining us now with more on what police say led to the shooting. Mark?
Good morning, Bill. Police say they arrested 24-year-old Clarence Taylor just 5 hours ago after a witness told them that they saw him shoot and kill the man behind the strip club on Richmond Road. Now we're learning from court documents this morning that witnesses told police that it all started when the two men started fighting inside Camelot East on Richmond Road early Friday morning. They say that fight then spilled out into the parking lot, and that's where Taylor shot LaRoz Mitchell several times, killing him. Friends of the 23-year-old say he was a great father to his young daughter. This morning we've been searching through court records, and we've learned that Taylor has been in and out of court several times over the past 6 years. According to court documents, the 24-year-old was indicted by a grand jury back in 2010 on second-degree burglary charges. Then, 2 months later, he was charged with theft by unlawful taking. After he was granted shock probation and released from jail, he was in trouble with the law again in 2012 for violating his probation. In all, it appears as if his convictions have landed him in jail for about a year. Now Taylor is back in the detention center this morning, but a little later today he will be walking into the Fayette County District Courthouse behind me to face a judge once again, this time for the most serious charges he's faced so far: murder. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, thanks so much, Mark. University of Kentucky healthcare officials hosting a vaccination clinic today to try and help prevent further spread of the mumps.
A problem on campus over the last week or so. Health officials say at least 3 cases of mumps have been confirmed on UK's campus. And they say several others have reported having a swollen jaw as well, which can be a symptom. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is joining us now with more on today's clinic as the university is trying to protect those on campus. Michelle?
Those confirmed cases are students who are actually vaccinated as children. That's why officials are urging everyone to get 2 doses of the MMR vaccine. Now, University Health Services here on South Limestone is offering a chance to get that vaccine for UK students and staff today from 1 to 3. Now, officials are urging you to get those 2 doses. So if you've never had the vaccine, it's recommended that you get 2 doses at once today. It does lower your chances of contracting mumps to 12%. So just how dangerous is mumps?
Even though mumps is not a life-threatening disease, it is still very contagious, and there are people out there that are immunocompromised, and it could be deadly to them.
Now, along with the 3 confirmed cases of mumps on UK's campus last week, there has also been several students who have symptoms of mumps. The 3 confirmed cases were students who were vaccinated as kids, and as we told you, the symptoms are less severe if you have received the shot. Now, the clinic will be open today from 1 to 3 for students looking to get the MMR vaccine. The cost for the vaccine will be $59 for full-time students as part of their health fee and $74 for other students. Now, the clinic is here on South Limestone and will be open today from 1 to 3 for those looking to get the MMR vaccine. Live in Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
All right, thanks so much, Michelle. Try to stay dry out there this morning. While it hasn't become official, it looks like the city of Harrodsburg is on its way to expanded alcohol sales. The Herald Leader says the unofficial vote was 813 to 534 in favor of the measure. Not all the votes have been counted because of a machine malfunction in one precinct. If the numbers stand, Harrodsburg will be fully wet. Alcoholic drinks will be sold in restaurants that seat at least 50 people. Kentucky Alcohol Beverage Control will not start accepting applications until 60 days after the election results are certified. Well, presidential candidates are vying for the White House, and they're trying to turn their focus to Super Tuesday, actually, following last night's Republican caucus in Nevada.
And Super Tuesday now less than a week away, and Donald Trump pulled off a big victory last night. In the battle for second place, the race between Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio still too close to call this morning. Daniel Nottingham has the latest from Las Vegas.
After picking up a 3rd consecutive victory in last night's Nevada caucuses, Donald Trump continues his winning streak with an eye on Super Tuesday states.
And we've had some great numbers coming out of Texas and amazing numbers coming out of Tennessee and Georgia. It's going to be an amazing 2 months. We might not even need the 2 months, folks, to be honest, all right?
The billionaire frontrunner garnered much of his support in the state from voters who are dissatisfied with the government.
Political correctness is destroying us.
I think he's here for the people, and I think he wants to win.
The win gives Trump the majority of the delegates in the state, bringing him closer to clinching the GOP nomination.
I think he is well positioned to really sweep across the board.
As Trump continues to gain momentum, the rest of the GOP field is battling it out to become his alternative. Entrance polls show a majority of caucus goers who favored a candidate with more political experience backed Marco Rubio over Ted Cruz. The Texas senator addressed supporters shortly after polls closed.
1 week from today will be the most important night of this campaign.
They'll face Trump in their next debate tomorrow night in Texas before voters in 11 states pick their choice for commander-in-chief. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Well, authorities say at least 3 people died after tornadoes swept across parts of Louisiana and Mississippi. 2 of the deaths are at an RV park in Convent, Louisiana, about an hour west of New Orleans. Dozens more were injured there, some critically. Rescue workers are still searching for anyone trapped or injured. A man who lives near the RV park says he and his family hid in a bathroom for safety.
I got in the bathtub with my dog, and they were praying, and I was crying, and I was so scared. I mean, the house would not stop shaking the whole entire time.
Sounds scary. Authorities say a 73-year-old man in Mississippi died when a suspected tornado hit his mobile home. When severe storms moved through New Orleans, some people shot video of water spouts over Lake Pontchartrain.
Time this morning is 5:38 on WKYT, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is investigating new reports of sexual transmission of the Zika virus. The CDC says they are investigating 14 cases in all, and that several of them involve pregnant women. The CDC is adding that the new reports suggest that sexual relations may likely be a way that Zika spreads. However, the most likely way to be infected with Zika is through a mosquito bite. Zika has been confirmed in 23 U.S. states and the District of Columbia. And the World Health Organization says up to 4 million people will be infected in the next year.
Well, the Kentucky Education Commissioner will appoint a new member to the Fayette County Board of Education following the death of the board's chairman. John Price had been battling leukemia for the 2 last years. He served on the board since 2003. Funeral arrangements are pending. The State Department of Education says that the commissioner will appoint a replacement to serve the rest of Price's term, which expires at the end of the year.
And Price being remembered certainly as a steady hand in the Fayette County education. Well, a man is facing charges after sheriff's deputies say he caused a disturbance in a Fayette County courtroom. Deputies say 25-year-old Anthony Beard showed up at the sheriff's office for a summons, but when deputies learned he had a warrant, they took him into custody. When they brought him into a courtroom, deputies say Beard started yelling at the judge and pushed a deputy to the ground. Police have charged Beard with assault, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct.
Some Eastern Kentucky judge executives traveled to Frankfort to ask state lawmakers to return more coal severance tax dollars to coal-producing counties. They say without more money, they'll have to cut funding for fire departments, roads, and other basic services. House Speaker Greg Stumbo said coal generated less than $9 million in severance tax revenue last month, the lowest return in 20 years.
Who could have anticipated that rapid of a decline and a downturn? And these counties just weren't prepared for it, and there's no way that they could have been prepared for it.
Eastern Kentucky officials say they want less of the coal money going into the state's general fund and more of it going to their counties.
A big change is coming to a restaurant in Fayette Mall. Abulo's Mexican restaurant, which is near one of the mall's entrances, closed over the weekend. Officials of the restaurant's parent company say they will be turning it into a new concept that will be called Oak Springs Grill. Renovations for the new restaurant will take place over the next few months, and Oak Springs Grill will open up in May. It will offer burgers, steaks, and ribs, among other foods. All right, so change at the mall.
Out with the old, in with the new.
There you go. Time this morning is 5:40, 20 before 6. And let's check live drive traffic. And one thing we know is that there will be rain rolling through from time to time throughout the morning and the day. So be prepared for that this morning. As you see right now, most of our travel times look to be pretty good. No reports of any major issues out there. We've had no accidents so far. So everybody be careful. We'll make it a good ride in.
Yeah.
A lot more news is coming up for you. Wednesday morning, it's Hump Day on WKYT This Morning.
A British zoo is celebrating the arrival of a baby gorilla. Oh, wow. How cute. How the newborn's birth was a first for doctors when WKYT This Morning returns.
A lot of rain out there this morning. Could cause some ponding there on the roads the next couple of hours, but I will tell you this. We're talking about not only rain, but wind and snow. I'll get into that forecast and show you the timing on that coming up next. Light to moderate rain falling across the area. Some of us with some embedded heavier downpours, but for the most part, it's not causing many issues. I haven't heard of many issues. Do want to focus in on just north of the Bluegrass area. You go from Georgetown, Paris, that's on the back edge of this, into Cynthiana, very wet conditions, Cynthiana and Berry this morning. It's Highway 62, and then make your way through 460. That's a wet area at this moment. 25, 75, and then go back toward Highway 127 and also 27. Those are areas that's just going to be extremely wet, and that came through 64 corridor too. So all that moving northbound. Falmouth, you're next in line if you're not feeling it already. So Pendleton, Bracken, you still have another 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes before you call it quits on this batch of moderate rain. Go up 68 and 62 through Mount Olivet, Robertson County, and then back toward Maysville, getting in on the action as we speak. Let me take you hour by hour. Let me show you this. We get into noontime today, still some rain left over, right? And we're talking temperatures there nearing 60 degrees. But then we head through the afternoon. Look at your temperature. Look at 5 p.m. Now we're talking 42 degrees, right? Dropping temperatures. Still some rain, still not cold enough to switch it over into snow. And then we take you into 8 p.m. and there you go. Now this is rolling through Lexington at this time. So I would say anywhere from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. is when we start to see that snow take over. So it's a late afternoon, early evening. You start to see the rain transition into snow, and then it travels throughout the night and becomes widespread across the area. Now, how much are we expecting overnight and into tomorrow morning as we're getting out and about at this time tomorrow morning? I would say light accumulations, a coating to about 2 inches at that time, and then we're taking it off into the afternoon, still holding on to some snowflakes flying on through, and that could bring some spots. Remember, not everybody will see this as isolated up to 3 inches. So you can tell this is not a big snowstorm, but it's just enough that we will have some problems there with schools, maybe some cancellations or delays. Early morning commute tomorrow morning will have a few issues, but this is the outlook. 1 to 2 inches is our best call for most of us. Could be as less as a coating for a few spots, or as high as 3 inches for a few spots. For the most part, we'll stay in that 1 to 2 inch range. Here's your 7-day forecast and what you can expect. And it looks like, for the most part, once we get past your Thursday, we're going to be seeing a cold Friday, yes, but head off into your weekend. 49 Saturday, 60 on Sunday. Those are really nice days. You'll have a front arrive there on Monday, but it doesn't really drop it that much. So really only 2 days in the forecast of winter days, and that's going to be tomorrow and Friday. And those 2 days move out pretty quickly. 40s and 60s, 50s really, and 60s for the weekend.
Yeah, as they should. Just move on out, move on out.
Especially for the weekend.
Yeah,
it comes good timing.
We can put up with it for a little while,
That's
right? Yeah, all right. Thank you, Micah. 5:47 now. Britain's Bristol Zoo recently celebrated the arrival of a newborn baby gorilla that was delivered by C-section.
Oh, this is so cute. Look at this little thing. The decision to use the procedure came earlier this month when the mother showed symptoms of a potentially life-threatening condition. The zoo there says that the birth marks one of only a handful of times worldwide that a baby gorilla has been delivered via a C-section. It was a first for the British Zoo and for the doctor who had delivered hundreds of human infants by C-section, but never a gorilla.
Sure is cute, huh?
I wonder how much it weighs.
I don't know. But, all right. A good little story there for you this morning to get your Wednesday off and rolling.
That gets you up and at it, right? Coming up, you'll get the stories making news right now.
And it is 5:48 right now. We'll also be taking a look at traffic again, see how things are moving along in the rain. We'll update the weather forecast for you as we anticipate that rain and snow over the next little bit here on WKYT. Good morning. Welcome back in. Hey, it's great to have you along on WKYT this morning. It's Wednesday, and the time right now coming up on 5:52.
Let's take a look right now at some of the stories we're working on for you at this hour.
Lexington police say a man is behind bars this morning. He's accused of murder. 24-year-old Clarence Taylor was arrested early this morning for the murder of 23-year-old LaRaz Mitchell. Investigators say Taylor shot Mitchell outside Camelot East Strip Club on Richmond Road last Friday. They say Mitchell died from his injuries at a hospital a short time later.
A clinic will be held by UK Health Services this afternoon to offer students and staff a chance to get a mumps vaccination. UK's Health Services offering the vaccine after 3 confirmed cases were reported on campus last week. A severe storm sparked that deadly tornadoes in the deep south. It's now moving east. The town of Convent, Louisiana was especially hit hard as a possible twister tore through a trailer park. Reported tornadoes also caused severe damage in Mississippi, where several homes in one county were just leveled.
The CDC is investigating more than a dozen new cases of Zika virus, possibly spread through sex. The cases involve men who visited areas affected by the outbreak and may have infected their female partners. Health officials say the virus remains in the blood for about a week, but it can stay in semen for much longer than that.
Migraine and tension-type headaches may share genetic links with irritable bowel syndrome, also known as IBS.
And that's according to a new study presented by the American Academy of Neurology. More than half of patients with migraines and over a quarter of those with tension headaches also had IBS. Researchers say patients with IBS and headaches had at least one gene that differed from healthier people.
Well, students who do physical activities while learning math and spelling score higher on tests compared to students sitting at desks. The study in pediatrics looked at nearly 500 second and third graders and found the score increases in the active group were equal to 4 months of learning. 5:53 is the time this morning. Let's get a check right now on today's traffic trouble spots with a look at live drive traffic. Things looking pretty good out there. Just keep in mind that there is some morning rain, so that could cause an issue for you. The roads are a little bit slick from some of that rainfall. Time to check now what's making news online with Bill.
Well, we have all the latest for you on WKYT.com, and one of the things you'll notice as soon as you click on is the bar at the top there indicating a first alert severe weather day. We're anticipating heavy rain, then some snow tonight into tomorrow, and Micah says we also expect a lot of wind with this as well. So keep up to date with WKYT as we roll toward March. Trending now, an arrest overnight in Lexington's latest murder. 24-year-old Clarence Taylor picked up this morning, charged in the shooting death of LaRaz Mitchell outside a strip club last week. We also have details about last night's Republican presidential caucus in Nevada, where Donald Trump was the big winner. Super Tuesday is coming up next, and then the Kentucky caucus on March 5th. Some candidates, by the way, are getting organizations in place here in the Bluegrass State for that. We have a story up about the Cats' big win over Alabama. It included the return of Alex Porthras, who came in off the bench and scored 14. Also, great guard play last night. And then they'll need it again Saturday when Kentucky hits the road for Vandy. On Kentucky.com, Fayette County School Board Chairman John Price being remembered as a steady hand who was elected 4 times. He had been battling leukemia since 2013 and died yesterday at the age of 62. Our sister station, the CW Lexington, now has its own website up, and it has info about CW programming as well as local programming and community events. CWLexington.com is the address for that, so check it out and enjoy some of the programming there on that channel as well. And CBS This Morning is coming up shortly with your Eye Opener. That's at 7. And of course, we'll have local updates as well. Join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and for the latest anytime, WKYT.com.
And that widespread rain out and about causing a few issues here in the next couple of hours. Once we start getting everybody on the roadways, just got to keep that in mind there as we continue to go throughout the next 2 to 3 hours. That's where it becomes a little bit of a problem when more people get on the roads. Got to slow down, and you might have to add a few extra minutes. Early morning commute. The heaviest amount of rain right now is now in the northern zones. The rest of us dealing with light to maybe a few embedded moderate showers. Remember, showers, not thunderstorms, but in the next 3 hours, I'd say anywhere from 7 to 10 p.m. is when you start to see those storms move on through. Could we get an isolated severe cell? It is possible, but it's very, very small chance of actually seeing that. Nonetheless, ponding on the roads is going to be a possibility, and then later on this afternoon and evening, that's when the rain transitions over into snow, guys. We're going to talk about that coming up.
Okay, so we have a little bit to deal with here the next little bit. And it's good to have you with us this morning. Our time is 5:56 as you rise and shine on your Wednesday.
Well, Lexington police say a man accused of a deadly shooting is behind bars this morning. 24-year-old Clarence Taylor is charged with the murder of 23-year-old LaRaz Mitchell. Police say Taylor shot Mitchell behind Camelot East Strip Club last Friday.
Also coming up new at 6, a health clinic is going on at UK's campus later today. It's all because of concern about the mumps. You're watching WKYT This Morning, and we're coming right back with a full hour of news. Hope you can stay with us.